Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ruth Cassidy. I'm Vice President and Chief Pharmacy Officer at St. Barnabas Health System, or SBH Health System. They rebranded themselves. In addition to pharmacy, I oversee a number of clinical services, but today I'm speaking on behalf of some of the advanced technology that St. Barnabas had put into the pharmacy department. So I entitled this presentation Ahead of the Curve, and the reason for that was because when they made the decision to put the advanced technology into the hospital, it was very innovative for them. This is a hospital that is in the South Bronx. It's a 340B institution, 75% Medicaid, and they put $13 million into the pharmacy department. That was very, very unlikely. I don't think any hospital, and I had worked at many, had ever done anything like that I seen. So if you have an opportunity to come to St. Barnabas, definitely come here. We had a presentation for a number of pharmacy directors, and I think they all really, really enjoyed it. So let me get started. So when I was putting the presentation together, I said to the chief medical officer and the chief operating officer, what was your decision? What molded your decision making to put $10 million into the institution? And what they said, it was threefold. Patient safety was number one, both for the chief medical officer and the COO. CFO, they want to know the bottom line. But for these guys, they said, we definitely wanted patient safety. Raising the bar on technology, they said, listen, if we're going to put money into the pharmacy, and they really needed to, we want to build a pharmacy that would hold us for years into the future. So what they said to the director at the time was, give us three options. One being the highest. If you could put together the best pharmacy that you could dream of, what would it be? And so she actually wound up getting what she wanted. And then the return on investment. Well, the CFO definitely, like I said, finance just wants the bottom line. And so about, I would say, a year after I was there, the reason I was brought into the institution, they had gotten now all this advanced technology, but they didn't know how to implement it. And we had a number of new technology, Talyst carousels being one of them, and I'll go through some of the others. But the board of directors wanted to know what was their return. They spent $13 million. Did they actually receive the money back, or were they in the process of receiving the money back for their large investment? So some of the technologies they put in: Talyst carousels. We had 3 in the department. Most pharmacies you'll see may have 1. This is a 460-bed institution that really, I would say, your average census is about 250. So 3 carousels was a lot. And then they had a Riva robot in the middle of a completely compliant USP 797 clean room. They also had another USP 797 clean room down on the first floor for chemotherapy. They instituted an electronic medical record for the first time. They also did bedside barcoding, KBMA. I'm trying to think. They had so much going on. Oh, and automated base cabinetry throughout. So they were now had just purchased it, but when I came, it had not yet been implemented. So we had all the cabinetry, but not yet implemented. The carousels were being used for cart fill, not to fill the Pyxis. The Riva was put in place, was making a couple of products, but not many. So what they had asked me was to implement this. And when I was interviewed for the position, I had said, I really am not looking for a lateral move. But he said, well, we really need help with the pharmacy. I said, okay. He said, do you think you could get it done in 6 months? So I said, okay, I'll make a deal. If I can get it done in 5, will you let me do something else? So he said that's a deal. So I had a 6-month timeline to roll all this out and bring it to a high level of optimization. So when I met with the manager of the department, they had been there for many, many years, and most of them felt that this could not be done. They had gone from the 5th floor, which was like a dungeon, up to a 7th floor, brand new, beautiful pharmacy but none of them really knew how to implement any of this new technology. Zero outsourcing. If you remember, there were a number of issues with outsourcing that has become one of the forefronts for pharmacy in general across the country. And St. Barnabas does not outsource anything. We do everything in-house, which is something not many, I think, pharmacy departments can say. So that was key, a key feature for us. Improved tracking of medications. One of the things that I had told the CFO and the board of directors for finance when they wanted their return on investment was that the tracking of medication, because of Talyst and because of the automated base cabinetry, I could reduce their budget by $1 million. I said, I'll reduce it hard dollars by $1 million. And the managers said, that's not possible. And I said, with real time moving drugs around in the institution, bringing it to where the patients are, we absolutely can do it. And so that first year, once we finished implementing, we did actually succeed in reducing the budget by $1 million, which was obviously made the board of directors very happy. Empowering pharmacy technicians, which is actually near and dear to my heart. I think for pharmacists right now, they go through PGY1, PGY2. They want to be out on the floors. They want to be a member of the medical team. And in order to do that, I need someone who can do the distribution of the pharmacy. And so I'm very interested in raising the bar on technicians. And so New York actually is one of the few states left that do not recognize technicians as a profession. They are considering it now. We just recently had a meeting, and I'm one of the huge proponents of advancing technicians and making them a profession in the state. How do we measure our success? One was the redeployment of pharmacists. So I had, when I came, we had 2 pharmacists that were out on the floors doing what I would call soft clinical work. They would give drug information, but not really PGY2 trained that were very knowledgeable in their areas. So once we had implemented the Talyst and brought that optimized, we had instituted Riva, and now everything actually goes through Riva. There's very little that the pharmacists will make themselves. We had built an interface while I was there between Allscripts, our EMR, so that not only would we do batching, but if a patient had renal insufficiency, that specific dose could be made by the Riva. So all products go through that. And what Riva is a robotic IV administration. It's not touched by humans. It's an enclosed ISO 5 environment, and makes everything with zero error. So we were able to, by using all this technology, redeploy our pharmacists. So we hired a PGY2 trained pharmacist in critical care, one in infectious disease, one in emergency medicine, and one in ambulatory care as well. So that was 4 additional services that we had added to the hospital that they had not had before. The financial impact, when I had gone to the board of directors and I had to present the return on investment, I had presented something that talked about quality and finance, and the board of directors said, listen, Ruth, we're all about quality, but we only want to hear the bottom line. So I had actually showed them that beyond the $1 million that we had successfully reduced our budget by, and that was hard dollars, we had actually succeeded in getting halfway. It had only been 2 years since we had purchased all this equipment, so we still had a number of years to go, but we were definitely on track and in line to achieve the return on investment that was originally planned. Any questions for me? So we had actually a lot of resistance. The staff had been there for a long, long time, and the director, well, it was associate director and assistant did not believe that we could do it. I would huddle with them every single day, and I said, we're going to go through a mass transformation, and we can do it in a year, and it's going to be painful, or we can do it in 5 or 6 months and just get it over with. So I said, I need all hands on deck, and they actually came together. It was tough. It was very tough. But every day, every morning at 8 o'clock, we would huddle and talk about where we were going that day and what we were doing, and they got on board. At the end, they said, even the managers were like, I never thought we would get it done, but they did. They were very good. So we had, previously they had outsourced a tremendous amount of money to different, now they're 503B facilities. We outsource nothing, including our TP, and everything is made in-house. So we were able to save all that additional money. We still do that, right? But just the fact that you have to outsource is tremendous. You pay for that. I think, also part of that was the reallocation of staff, because we were able to take that staff and deploy them up onto the floors to offer more services to the institution. Oh, absolutely. So we have also transitions of care. So that individual specifically looks at readmissions. And what we hired was an Apple position, we call it. It's a technician, a little advanced. They have 2 years, at least 2 years of college, but she is actually a graduate. She is going to go on. Her main role is access of medications. So we subcontracted with 7 local retail pharmacies, because we didn't have, we didn't have the capital to put in an ambulatory pharmacy. So they fill our prescriptions for us, and the main role of this technician is to go around to make sure patients have access. So if they don't have insurance and they're indigent, then she reaches out to patient assistance programs with all of the different vendors to see if they can recover any of the money for the medications that we give out. But yes, also has been very successful. We're planning, the emergency medicine pharmacist has only been there for 2 months now. We're going to put an Apple down there as well, and we hope to do the same in the ED. But we've already reduced our readmissions in the ED by 25%, just visits to the ED, and our readmissions it's been a very successful program.